Welcome to the Worldwide House Hunters Show. And today we are in Redford, Michigan, which is going to be near Detroit, Michigan, checking out this property that is a duplex. Um, Older home built in 1927, so just about 98 years old or so. Six bedrooms, two bathrooms, 2,548 square feet. So it seems like a lot of space, but it's a duplex, so we have to cut that in half, right? So we're talking maybe three bedrooms, one bathroom for each. So you can probably live in both if you've got a pretty big family, or you can actually rent one out and help that offset your mortgage payment, right? 235,000 bucks, not terrible. We've got central air, forced air, natural gas for heat, a basement, a full basement, private storage locker. It's not finished though, so not bad, right? So let's go ahead and take a look and see what we got here. Looks like we have a lot of parking on the side of the house, which is cool. We've got a nice sized porch here for hanging out in the summertime. You can definitely hang out there and sit on the porch and just watch the traffic go by. You have a balcony up top as well, so I guess whoever is renting the up top would also have their balcony area where they can kind of hang out as well. Looks like there's a couple of doors here on the side. Not really sure where they go. Maybe one goes to the basement. Maybe one goes into the house. Typically when you go inside and then you go down. But maybe there's a stairway or something to the second floor or something from this side as well. And then you got your two doors side by side. Typically, when you have those two doors side by side, that means that one is going to lead to like a staircase and the other one is going to lead right into the home. So let's see kind of what else we get here. Neighbors parked pretty close here. We've got another house. It's a little ways to the driveways in between, so that's kind of cool. That gives you a little bit more space. They both look like one-story homes when you've got the two-story home here. It's got a little bit of brick going on there, which is good. Look like there might be a little bit of damage here that might need to be painted or refixed there, or maybe the wood replaced there. So let's take a look and see if we've got anything on the inside. Here we go. So this looks like the first level because you can kind of see the porch out here on the front. And so maybe when you come in the door on the front, this would be your living room area. This is a fireplace, but the list said that there is no fireplace. So it's not a working fireplace. That's just for cosmetics. So that's good to know. We've got some shelves here, and looks like maybe something we could probably put something on top as well. A couple of nice windows to round out the room. Typical old school house from that era, and nice carpet here. Doesn't seem too shaggy or whatever. Seems like it's going to be hopefully decent for wear and tear. If you don't wear your shoes in the house, it should last a long time. I like the archway here that kind of leads off into the next room. This is probably some kind of a dining room or something here, but we'll see if we get a picture of that. This is looking from inside the room back towards the front of the house. Right? Nice, freshly painted. Looks like someone put some work into it. This is kind of a big grate here on the ground. Probably for heat or whatever, because it did say it had central heat system. So it's kind of a big grate there. I'd be kind of weirded out by that a little bit. Why is it so large? Yeah, but it's nicely painted. It looks like. Looks like it's kind of nice there. The carpet kind of goes all the way back down the hallway. We can see the beginnings of the kitchen here. So let's see what else we are taking into it. Yeah, the kitchen is next. Interesting because it's got a lock on the kitchen door. So I guess you can close the door and lock it if you don't want anybody messing with you while you're cooking. But this is, this is an up north house in Detroit. You might want that extra security to be able to close the door and lock it behind you. I like the cabinets here. Nice cabinets. This is kind of looks like one of the other videos that we just saw on, that I put out not too long ago, where we have the recess there and it's in white and the nice handles. So I do like the kitchen. A nice set of windows there above the stove. A lot of times it's above the sink, but we don't see that above the sink over here. We see it above the stove. So if you're cooking over there, you get the opportunity to look out, maybe see if people are coming up, guests and things like that. I like this. I like the countertop as well. It's a busy countertop, but it's neutral. The colors are kind of neutral or whatever, so it works really well. I think it works really well with the chrome of the stove and with the handles and all that. This looks really nice. Looks like they took some time. Now the tile, I probably would want to rip that out and do something different with the tile. Maybe go with like a white marbleized tile or whatever. It would kind of set the kitchen off just a little bit more. So maybe they just didn't get to that or felt like it wasn't necessary to be removed. But yeah, here's the bathroom. Kind of close quarters there. Really couldn't even get in the doorway really to take a picture. So this is a small bathroom. Maybe this is, well, there's 2 bathrooms in the entire place. So, but if you rent one place, they're going to have 1 bathroom in this. So this would be your main bathroom. So you'd have to think about that. Don't see really any cabinetry here except for down below, and most people don't keep their towels and stuff here. Maybe this is where you would keep your towels. Maybe this doorway here is where you keep your towels and stuff. I can tell by these hinges that this is very old. This, it's very old. So that hasn't been replaced or changed at all. Might need to be replaced or changed. But overall, you can see that they've renovated it and they tried to do a pretty good job here. Paint job doesn't seem astronomically good, but it's okay. More carpet here, kind of utilitarian carpet here. Not made to be super plush or anything like that, but this seems like a nice bedroom area. Maybe that's the closet there. But it seems like a decent sized bedroom. Those windows got to be, a couple feet across each. So, you probably put a nice bed maybe over here because you got to be able to open this door, or maybe on this side if there's nothing here. So it'll fit a nice bed there. It's not terrible. I've never really seen this before. I wonder what that is. Maybe it's just something for safety, for to prevent break-ins or something. I don't know. But I see it on both of the windows here. I don't know what this is up top either. What that would be. But the bedroom seems to have a decent amount of space. Yeah, it seems like they've got these bars here, so you might want to think about that as far as moving in, what type of neighborhood you're in, and all that kind of stuff, right? Oh, so they've changed this. They actually painted over this. Wasn't that color before in the other picture, right? So they painted over this. So they're taking pictures, I guess, as they go. So interesting. But it looks nice. I think this is probably nicer than what it looked like before. Yeah, that actually looks pretty nice. This never was changed. They probably didn't want to dig that up, but it looks a little bit old. I think it's taken away a little bit from the room itself. But so we'll see, do they take that up and replace it or not? This is the porch. So looks like it's pretty new. Like these parts of it look like they're fairly new or newer. But the porch definitely, this could use a lot of work here, as like, maybe sanding it down or something and resurfacing it, because it just doesn't look great if you're sitting out there or whatever, you're bringing company out there or whatever, it doesn't look great. So company coming to the house or whatever, that doesn't look great. So I would definitely work on that, get that nice and tidied up. All right, so this is the other side, I guess. This must be the other side, because we were looking at this before coming into the house. And here's the kitchen again. We've got A bunch of counter space here. This is pretty good, but I notice on the end here is like something should be here. Maybe this is where the refrigerator would go on this end because they left this very raw. So that might be something that the refrigerator would just cover and no one would ever see it. But yeah, so I would say like this tile, like I said before, would probably have to go. Change that out. But there's definitely counter space. There's counter space on both sides of the stove. Both sides of the sink have counter space. We've got a lot of nice cabinetry here, an area ledge here where we can put some stuff, spices and things like that probably would go up there. So it looks like it's a decent kitchen. It's not bad. Well, there is the refrigerator. So on this side, what goes on this side? A freezer or something? Maybe it's the same size space. So maybe a refrigerator would normally go on this side, but who knows? It's a little bit strange how they did that. And you would think this could be better. There could be a better use of this space here. You would think, well, wait a minute. Let me go back because maybe, yeah, it was on the opposite side, right? So this is on the opposite side. So the refrigerator, oh, you can see it sticking out here. So yeah, I don't know what would have gone on this side. Maybe there's a freezer or whatever, but this space is not utilized very well. I think I'd like to see cabinets all the way across. Why have a cabinet and no space here? Unless they were going to put some type of, ventilation here or, a hood over here or whatever, but I doubt it. It doesn't seem like there would be a hood there because there's people upstairs, right? So yeah, I don't know why this looks discombobulated a little bit. I'd like to fill that space fully with cabinets so that you have more cabinet space. Looks like the bedroom that we saw before. There's 6 bedrooms in this space, so maybe these look like they're higher up because you can see the trees outside. So these are maybe on the 2nd floor bedrooms, about the same size as the ones downstairs. And then here we go with the 2nd bathroom that would be upstairs. Once again, it's pretty much the same size as the one downstairs, right? You can just barely kind of get in there. So if you've got a family, you've got a number of people staying or whatever, it's going to be a little bit packed to try to get into this bathroom a little bit tough. So 2 people are not going to be able to be in here at the same time, really, unless one's in the tub. Here's our basement that's not refinished here. So a lot of storage space. I guess I would look at it like that. Here's where we can store things. Probably have a washer dryer down here. I know in the wintertime, people hang clothes down here. I know with my sister's house, we hang clothes down in the basement in the wintertime when we wash them because you can't hang them outside. So maybe that's what that is. Nice wash station here. I don't know what this is and why it kind of like dead ends there. Interesting. But it has central heat and air, so that's different. Somebody spent the time to put that in at some point in time, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, the basement probably is not ever going to be refinished. This looks like it needs a lot of work. There's a lot of green on the wood here, so I'd probably want to tear that down and rebuild it to make it a lot better and make sure that it's weatherproofed and all that kind of stuff. You can see they're probably throwing out stuff that they were taking out of the house here. But yeah, it looks like there might be some boarding here. They might have boarded up this window. Maybe that was broken at one point or something like that. The gate looks like it's broken as well. I know they rehabbed this house. They probably rehabbed it, no telling what it looked like before. The yard can use a lot of work in the yard. There's the floor plan for it. Yeah, 3 bedrooms each. They're pretty much the same from top to bottom. One on top of the other. They're pretty much just the same space, one on top of the other. Looks like. And then the basement space, right? So, yeah, this house. What I saw down here was that it was purchased a few times here. Let's see. Let's go back to the listing. Let's go down. the price history, right? So in March of 2024, it was up for sale for $130,000. It sold for $125,000. But then just a few months later, it sold again for the same exact amount. So I don't know if that was like a movement, maybe moving from, someone's name or something to a LLC or something. Maybe that was just a movement or whatever. But they probably spent some time working on it, and then now, a year later, a year and 3 months later, they've listed it for sale at $243,000. So I feel like there was a lot of rehab that had to be done, and so they've probably done a lot of work on the house. So there's probably, most of what we saw was probably new, paint, making sure the floors are okay, and putting new carpet in or whatever. So it looks like that carpet was new. They didn't spend a lot of money on that, so they're probably trying to make a little profit on it. Right now, the price change is down to $235,000. They dropped it down just maybe $8,000 to see if they can sell it. So this looks like a rehab, something that was rehabbed and sold. But the rent estimate is $1,215 a month. If you can probably rent a 3-bedroom, place, that size, you probably can get more than $1,000 a month, so I think you get between $1,000 and $1,200 a month anyway, just by the rent for, the upstairs or whatever. If you want to live downstairs or whatever, and they live upstairs and you rent that to them, they pay you like $1,200. It might pay your mortgage, So, it's an opportunity, maybe an opportunity for somebody to come in and make it work as an investment property. So you just never know. Or if you got a big family, maybe it's somewhere you just live, or mother-in-law suite upstairs or something. And if you're taking care of somebody in your family or whatever, maybe they can kind of have their own space, but you live close, So what do you guys think? What do you think about this house as compared to what you've seen on some of the other videos?